actually signed the 10th Amendment Center Pledge, and I think that our campaign, we launched back in July. I think we were the only gubernatorial campaign, not even just in this state, but across the country, that has a states' rights page. I'm not new to it. Before I was asked to run for governor, I actually gave a speech on 10th Amendment and state rights, which is what I completely believe in, especially under what I believe is a collectivist administration. Under a criminal cartel with the Federal Reserve note, which is, by the way, there is an imminent, it's going to collapse. So what do you do as a state? You have to protect your state's sovereignty. So the way that you can do that is to create a sound money solution for when there is a collapse, we are protected. That sound money solution backed in our state, we'll be able to give very, very, very low interest loans to farmers, business owners. We want to get back our sovereignty, and the way we can do that is through the sound money solution. We can fuel productivity that way. So that was how I became part of the state rights movement, was after meeting Aaron Russo, who gave me quite the education on the Federal Reserve. G. Edward Griffin has actually endorsed our campaign, and I urge all of you to go read this book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. Some people know it. I believe in voter rights. If you go to the polls and you vote something into law, I don't believe the judicial system should be overturning it. I left the two-party system. We've been sold into this lesser of two evils. I did it for years myself, but really, if you think about it, what's the difference? George Bush Sr. gave us the New World Order. Clinton, which I was very disappointed with, gave us NAFTA. And then we moved on to George Bush Jr., which gave us the so-called Patriot Act and the North American Union. And now, unfortunately, I thought we were getting hope and change. Instead, we've gotten czars, all right, and the socialist healthcare system, which I do not believe in. I'm tired of that. If we're going to keep doing that, voting the lesser of two evils, that makes us collectivists. I don't know if you realize that, but that makes us collectivists. It's not party first, it's country first. Country first. And we have to get that into our heads. Think of all the veterans who have fought for us. If they can be courageous enough to lose their lives for us, I think we should be courageous enough to go to the polls and vote the best person, regardless of whether we think they're going to win or not. Because that shouldn't be the point. We're supposed to be voting principle, not who do we think is going to win. I believe in limited government, which therefore means I think we're all adults, and therefore we're all responsible for taking care of the planet on our own without government telling us how to do it. I will, of course, turn on the water in the Central Valley. I can go as the governor and turn on the water. The county sheriff, has the power to arrest any federal agent that comes in there and tries to turn it back on. The states have power over the federal government. Individuals have more rights than the state. The state is supposed to be there to protect our sovereignty and our security, and this is not happening. The three most important elections that you should be looking at is the governor's race, the sheriff's races, and judges. And here's why. The judges are supposed to be there to protect our Constitution. If we continue to get anti-constitutionalists, which I call anti-federalists, you know, the Hamilton judges, it's going to continue to dismantle our Constitution. Sheriffs, because sheriffs are not under federal authority law. They're here to protect the state. They're here to protect the individuals here within this state and to protect us actually against the federal government. The governor, you might as well just think of them as the president of this state, because that's basically what they are. And then they have the power to protect us from the federal government, because our republic is gone. I don't think people realize this yet. The only way that we can take it back is by taking back our country locally, and that starts at the states. They need our resources here in California and our money more than we need them. We're the 8th largest economy in the world. If we were an independent nation, we're the 8th largest economy in the world. We have the oil, we have the agriculture, we have the wind and solar power. We actually have a lot of money in the state that is not being shared with us.
You're not going to hear about it on the evening news because they follow our lead. Same with Sacramento. If the entire state of California is demanding our sovereignty that we are owed under the Constitution, the politicians in Sacramento are going to turn right around. And here's why. They want the votes. They depend on our consent for anything that they do. And so this is a matter of ideas. And when people talk about revolution, that the times that we're in right now are so dire that we need a revolution. But what we need is a revolution of thought. We need to change our approach And stop using words like conservative and liberal and Democrat and Republican, because none of that matters anymore. We're dealing with a beast that is so ominous and descending on us with such veracity that there is only one enemy that anybody should be concerned about in the political world right now, and it's Washington, D.C. Yes, we live in a blue state. You got to forget about everything that you've been told all of your lives. This whole left versus right stuff, this blue versus red stuff. We're in the fight of our lives right now, and the republic depends on it. People on the left on the street and people on the right on the street are going after each other because you're going after the wrong threat. Maybe we have disagreements about social policy, and I'm sure we do. But we resolve those things on the state level. Once we get the behemoth off of us, we can start to work on those types of things. So this is what I'm doing in my life, is organizing people just like you to join this movement. So.